Hey there. Welcome. This is veritable edge of Western civilization, Venice Beach, California. This is show number 76. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd-ish. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as usual. Lately, anyway. I just went for a swim today, and the water is still magnificent. So, once again, if you were thinking about coming to Venice Beach, you are going to be pleasantly surprised. Water is so warm. Just caught a couple of waves today, body surfing. So, still a little bit of summer, but you can definitely tell the heat waves are gone and so forth. So, what else is happening?
Good, I like your words, Becky. Without words. It's a little bit safer this way.
I'm gonna put some of this goop on my nose. It's an essential oil I was given at Burning Man by his brother. Wind's picking up a little bit, blowing stuff around. Oh, that feels good. This is some road rash prevention thing, so hopefully my nose won't have a road rash. That'll hold up for a little bit anyway. Okay. So, what's going on here? This is a piece I started yesterday. And we'll continue today. Okay. Alright.
That's going to lock in on the back and the top so I can all my stuff safe. Okay.
5 singles? I don't believe so. Let me take a look. Do you watch much football?
Every now and then.
It must be weird.
What? I mean, I watch football, but I don't watch it like I played it. I mean, it's, you know, it's cool. I can call plays and hang out with the guys and shit, but, you know, that's a norm. If it's a good game that I want, if my team, Jets are playing, okay, but, or Steelers, but other than that, no, I don't watch it like that much, you know. 65 years old, I know what it's like, how I got hurt, you know. But I'm always be in the football genre because that was my livelihood. All day Sunday, not anymore. I'll go by, check out the score, see a few plays, you know, 12 on that, then move on. You know, that's what you got to do. Because a lot of us don't want to go back and see the guys we know because we see what we left and they're going to see what they're about to get into. So they don't want to leave that world to come out here in the real world. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a cataclysm to the point where I love you, but I don't want to see you.
Yeah, right.
You know, because I know what I got to do eventually. I got to get out of this world and get into the real world.
Right.
And it scares a lot of us.
Yeah.
You know, because we was in our own world, getting paid, having fun, getting hurt. But a lot of the guys my age, if they're not invited or anything, hardly any of them watch football that much now. Unless they, the kids or whatever are watching it. And they say, hey, Daddy, we're playing on this and that. But,
So what do you think about football in L.A.?
about time.
No shit.
About fucking time.
Yeah, really.
Thanks.
Yep, sure. So I don't know how much of that you heard. That brother's name is Nate Washington, and he used to play wide receiver for the New York Jets, and with Joe Willie Namath. And after he came back from Vietnam, and he was pretty fast in his day. I think he was his contemporary Bob Hayes, won the Olympics on the 100-meter dash, and he had the same speed. So, and he got hurt. They took him out, messed up his knee, and that was it. But he had his time. But what's really interesting about Nate, he's one of my favorite Venice stories because he has such an interesting background. His father was a Tuskegee airman during the Second World War, so he knew all those guys, all the red tails. And I've been on his case for years to try to get him to write his autobiography. And because even if he just wrote about the red tails, that'd be a heck of a story itself. But then, he was in. I need to turn this so that my nose is getting fried. He was in Vietnam. He did a tour in Vietnam, and I think he went to Vietnam right after Woodstock, and he was at Woodstock, and check this out. He's friends with Jimi Hendrix. They hung out, and he was involved with Janis Joplin. In fact, they were, from what he tells me, he was backstage at Woodstock with Janis Joplin, camping. So I'll leave it at that. But it just goes to show you just never know who you're talking to on Venice until you start talking to them. And yeah, and then he had a writing career. He wrote comedy, and he wrote for Bill Cosby for a while, among other people. But come on, Nate, write this shit down, man. So he's certainly one of my heroes, and I see him every morning on my way to the bathroom. He sets up down the boardwalk, and you usually see him just sitting there reading. He's like a voracious reader. And I was like, man, if you wrote as much as you read, that book would be done by now, And, he sells trinkets and whatever he can, lives in the apartment behind, down in the alley there, and it's really good. But yeah, I've known him probably. I think we started talking. I'd seen him for years. I can't tell you how long we've known one another, but we started talking probably about in 2008. Around in there, and he's not the sort of person that brags. He doesn't open up to people. But there were times when So in the morning, I run by and run along here with my little football, and I toss it over my shoulder and catch it with one hand and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how we got talking about it, but you should have seen him one day. I ran by him with the ball, and he just got really animated, and we tossed the ball back and forth a little bit, and I could tell by the way he caught it that, he had some friggin' skills. Because a lot of time people on the boardwalk are like, oh, throw me the ball. You throw him the ball, and it's like, oh, thanks, right, that was good. But I could tell he had some friggin' skills. And, once again, I took it as an opportunity to get him to try to write, to encourage him to write his story, And anyway, can you imagine playing for the New York Jets when the Jets were like, with Joe Willie Namath, they'd won the Super Bowl and everything? Yeah, man. So he's like a witness to history and a maker of history, And like you said, he's 65, and it'd be really great if he told the story for he can't. There's so many people like that. There was this brother named Oo. That's right, Oo was his name. And he was a street person. He lived on the street. He had a bicycle. He basically lived off of that bicycle. And then, I'd see him for years. His African-American brother, very shanty, very chill, very, very peaceful. And eventually, he started to set up, a couple of spaces away from me. And he drank. He was an alcoholic. There's no doubt about it, And but you could just tell that he was an intelligent person, like a very, very intelligent person. And he set up, and he would write some of his writings on pieces of cardboard and put them down there, and people would buy them. Just find garbage in the garbage and write on them, and he would sell them for like $5 or $7 or whatever, and I was like, dude, this stuff is brilliant. You need to like compile it all. And I was trying to get him to write a book, to put it all into a book. I actually gave him the materials to do that, because around the time that I started writing my own books, publishing my own books and stuff, like 2007. He had to go into dialysis, and his moods would go up and down. He'd get depressed and whatnot, and he just didn't have the energy for it, and eventually he died. And the book of Oo will never be written. So anyway, let's work on the piece. And just, I want to say another thing about that. Here's this person. Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Life is good. Life is good. Just so you know, it's a fine for smoking on the boardwalk or the beach.
Oh, really?
And, in LA, they just made these, like about 3 months ago, they made these illegal.
Really?
In public spaces.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up, we appreciate it.
It was a, city council meeting, like June-ish.
Really?
Yeah, now they're regulating these, but regular cigarettes, and then when you go to pay the fine, it's like only $2.
Wow, no way.
Yeah, heads up.
Thank you so much, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Texting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah. I think about this brother Ooh, you know. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I got on his case was, brother, if you don't write it, nobody's going to know about it, and the only reason you know about it is because I told you about it, you know. And this person's brilliance, genius is essentially lost, but for all those people that had their little piece of cardboard, you know. And I think about Kelly, you know, Kelly Phipps, brother I learned astrology from, who passed away a couple months ago. You know, I've talked about this before. You know, he had this book that's 12 books. You know, he named his son after the main character in this 12-book series, Aryan Brazenwood. And you can buy the first book, but he never finished the other 11 books in the series. He did like copious research, years and years and years of research, wrote books of research for this thing. And you know what's happening with those books? I mean, what's ever going to happen with that information? It's just all gone. You know, that story. It went with him. You know, I mean, somebody else, maybe his son will someday write something, but it's not going to be what he wrote, what he would have written, you know. And so I think about, I guess we're talking about legacy, you know. Last night I had a moment where I was thinking about this. It's like, if I guess I was looking at pictures of posted of, I think it was his brother Jason's birthday yesterday or the day before, and there were pictures posted of his, you know, of him. It was really great to see him, but you know, he's also, you know, dealing with cancer and chemo and all, you know, got no hair and whatnot. But I mean, he looks great. Actually, I think he looks better than he did before he had the chemo. You know, it's kind of funny. But there was a photograph of him in a room with his mother was on one bed, he was on another, and there were these girls all around him, and they were playing and whatnot, you know. And honest to goodness, it looked just like the photographs of us all in Kelly's hospice room, you know. And I was like, oh goodness. Now, see, I know all, you know, that we're all immortal and all that kind of stuff. And I know one of the things I've learned from my mother's passing was this thing about the emotional truth, that no matter how enlightened you are, you still have to deal with the emotional truth. You know, I mean, there's this. If you ever get a chance, is one of the best movies I've ever seen. That I think has ever been made is the movie of Siddhartha. You know, it's this. The movie is based on the book by Hermann Hesse. And the story that the book is based on is the story of Gautama Buddha, the first so-called first Buddha. Though Gautama Buddha is a character in the book, there's this other character named Siddhartha, and it's about this person that seeks enlightenment in India a couple thousand years ago, and he when he's a young man, he goes into the wilderness and becomes an ascetic, and tries to become a holy man through austerity, practicing austerity, and it almost kills him, And one day he looks across the river, and there is the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his life. And he goes, he needs to be with that woman, you know. But to be with that woman, it turns out that that woman is the most wealthy woman in the nearest town. And, you know, as a penniless mendicant, you know, he needs to, like, up his game, so to speak, you know. So he goes to the wealthiest man in the town and says, asks him for a job. And the guy says, "Why should I hire you? What can you do?" He says, I can fast, I can something else, and I can wait." And the guy hires him because he has, you know, he has discipline, basically. And he becomes his right-hand man, and eventually, you know, handles his affairs, becomes the sole person handling his affairs, and eventually that guy, he becomes an equally wealthy person, and then he approaches the woman, and they get together, and they have a child, you know, and I don't know how long they stay together, but eventually he ends up raising the child and living on the river. I think he gave up the whole, you know, the world again, the marketplace and everything, and he goes to goes along the river, and eventually he meets the ferry boat man that takes you across the river and everything like that, becomes friends with him, and they work together until the ferry boat man dies, and he becomes the ferry boat man, you know. And eventually, you know, so he's living along the river there, and eventually word comes that his, you know, the mother of his child passes away, you know, and there's this incredible scene, you know, of you know, her funeral, you know, and they have a funeral pyre. They build a funeral pyre for her, you know, and she is, and they build a fire on a what is it, a sand spit on the Ganges River, you know, at low tide, and so they build this huge fire, and they put her body on there, and it burns up, you know. There's all these people grieving, and a big scene, and big formal ceremony and all that kind of stuff. But then eventually, you know, he sits there all night long, and eventually in the morning, the next thing you see is at the crack of dawn, you know, when there's a little bit of mist along the river. It's just him and her ashes, you know, and the river. And the river is going to take the ashes away, you know, with the next rise of the river. And there's something, if you get a chance to see that, it's really profound. And so the thing is, here you have this person that has been cultivating enlightenment and everything like that. Hello. How you doing? No. I do a live stream at 5 o'clock now. So why did you want to talk? Okay. Yeah. It's good to see you. Yeah, I talked about you yesterday. Oh, did you? Oh, you did. I don't often meet, you know, Olympic athletes that are so, you know, conscious.
You wear my color. I was wearing yesterday.
Ah, yes. Yes. This is my, you know, favorite.
That's beautiful blue. I really love that.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of stand out. And I kind of need to stand out. Hey, buy my stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's
do.
true. Did you get a chance to read the book?
No, I read your little notes.
Ah, yes.
And I will read it when the time is right to read it. Yeah.
course.
Of
course. Yeah, it's you can open it to any page and start anywhere. It's like that. They were actually designed. Each page was designed to be a poster.
Oh, I don't think that's going to quite make it. I live stream.
Yes, step right up. Step
Yeah,
right up.
let's make
There we
myself.
go.
Hi, so
This
I'm.
is Theodora. Of,
Hello world, hello internet users. Wherever you are, this is a magical place and this is a magical soul that's speaking to you.
Yeah, hugging.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, did you realize anything? Did you come to any conclusions?
Just something that you said yesterday was kind of something, you know, but it's going back to like, you know, focusing on something and then doing it, you know, rather than just being, I don't know,
Yeah, right.
yeah, so, yeah, you know, by the end of this trip, I think even before that, I'll be ready to,
Stillness.
yes, this is great.
Stillness. I was just talking about that. Did you ever read Siddhartha?
No.
There's a movie version of it
Okay,
as well, and it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Siddhartha.
Siddhartha, yeah, by Herman Hesse.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you would. That's your homework.
Siddhartha.
Siddhartha, either the book or the movie. Take your pick. The book is its own universe, and the movie is really magnificent.
Yeah.
You know, so I would highly recommend that you enjoy it. You might find, you know, some kindred spirit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on my way.
Be on your way, would you, lady?
I know, you were like in the middle of something.
Or
Great to
hugging.
see you,
Yeah,
yeah.
hugging.
Take care of yourself. Well, I'll be back.
See you again.
Alright.
I hope so. That's great.
Well, I've got your things anyway now.
That's right. Yeah, my deets. I like that.
Shop for details. It's so lazy these days. I would say details.
That's right. All right. So yeah, Siddhartha. Highly recommend it. But what I was saying is that there's that scene where there's this person that, you know, has had all this life experience and focused on enlightenment and everything, and you know they have to feel it. They have to grieve. They have to face the reality of death and all the emotions attached thereof. You know, so
they're super like.
Enlightenment doesn't necessarily keep you from the grieving process. Hey, brother.
Nice to see you, brother.
Yes, indeed. So, anyway, we're going to work on this piece. Good thing we got 50% of battery still left. What time do we have? There's plenty of sunlight left. It's 5:30. Oh, yeah. Down. No, low. Lower. Thank you. Here comes that wind picking up a little bit. Blowing my stuff over. For a couple of frames already.
This is crazy. That's the metahedron.
Metatron's cube.
Metatron's cube. There you go. Definitely. Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was going for amazing. I was going for beyond amazing. No kidding. I wasn't. I was really.
Is this a picture?
Yeah, it's a photograph of
Did you take
the.
it?
Oh, you bet. All this is all original work.
Wow.
All the photography, all the paintings, I even paint the frames.
I love this. I do photography, and I started getting into painting. Now I'm doing watercolors, so I love that you use
Whatever it takes.
your work to exactly.
You're welcome. Alrighty then. Let's do this. There we go. What's that one thing? There it is. Hello. Life is good.
It'll be devastating. You know, I mean, I can tell him, yeah, I love it.
What do you think? What's interesting about the panther's eyes is that they're the pupil is actually round. Unlike, most cat's eyes you see are, have that oval thing happening with the pupil. But it appears like, the more I study it, the real panthers, their eyes are round. I mean, the pupil is round. It's dead confusing.
You know nothing.
An experiment happens.
And that one comes from the tree of life. And this one also. Most people don't know what this is. It's the intercourse between the opposites. Wow. Never seen. Okay. That's cool. Very nice, my brother.
Thank you.
It is their expensive life.
How's that look? It's more realistic. Okay. I want to round this out a little bit on the side. If you're not learning while you're painting, then you're not painting. I'm definitely learning. wonder why I was inspired to do this. Oh, I remember this. Oh man. This is part of that road series. That's right. Okay. This idea came to me when I was driving back from Burning Man, and it was the night sky with all the stars, and I thought about the panther. That's right. Wow. Okay, this is exciting. This is very exciting. It's one of the reasons why I love driving cross country, because all that time when it's just you and the road, you know. But at the same time, it's one of the things that I hate about driving cross country. This is all that time when it's just you and the friggin' road and you're trying to stay awake. Okay. That's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. Let's do this. Okay, now I know what I'm doing. Very cool. People are going to say, I can hear what people are going to say already. There's the idea. Because it's in line with the last piece I did with the night sky and the road and all that kind of stuff, but I can't help it. I mean, I knew this was going to have stars, but I totally forgot about the road. Okay. How do I want to do this? Go it this way. So we're gonna right here. So exciting. So exciting. So I just, what's going to happen when I put these, I can put these, this piece and the last piece that I did a couple weeks ago with, last week actually, with the road together, one after the other. It'll come across as an animation. That should be interesting. Hey there.
That one's turned out great. I like that
Crazy?
one. Oh my god, I like that. No, that's not something. Let's just take a challenge. This should be a thing. How many tries did I get you to do that? So like perfect.
Like one.
French fries. Do you want to go get French fries? Yeah, I know. I feel like you're like.
Hi there. Hey there. Is your name Laura? Flavia. Wonderful. Thanks for stopping.
Nice colorful that.
You like that?
Yeah.
Stay tuned. You're entirely welcome, Flavia. I said you're entirely welcome. Yes. Grazie, grazie. She's running away. Excuse me. Thank you. Okay, what do we have? With 10%. So it's getting on down in there. Let's see.
So we need to get something. Should we get like?
Hello. I don't know. Sure, it feels really good. So I don't. Let's see what happens. Where are we at? Oh, Jesus, 1%. Okay. Well, we gotta log out. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and remember, we love you.